we praise you. You are Lord, we acclaim you. To you.
Hello, St. Matthew. My name is Gary Espinoza. I was requested by Deacon Tony to speak about my experiences in coming to St. Matthew's community. Community, as defined in Webster's Dictionary, is a fellowship of individuals sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. In my opinion, St. Matthew's strengths are diversity, inclusivity, and a shared purpose. I first came to St. Matthew's in 2018 with my companion at the time, Edward Cooper. I was referred by a longtime friend who I mentioned earlier in my speech. Some of my first observations of coming to St. Matthew's was I noticed women had prominent positions in the church.
What?
So, I adore strong women. I've always had strong women in my life. So right there, that was an eye-opener. I saw Deacons Tammy and Adela lecture, both consummate lecturers. Deacon Tammy and I share something in common. We both adore Wonder Woman.
That I do.
I also want to pay special attention to Reverend Mother Jetty, Reverend Mother Martha, and Reverend Mother Diane. Teachers extraordinaire. I consider you three St. Matthew's own Holy Trinity. Mother Jetty is our Director of Religious Education. Through Mother Jetty and Mother Martha, I've learned so much about the Bible. I've always wanted to go into it. I was very pleased with this year's curriculum, which was Mary Magdalene. She was always one of my favorites. And just to learn so much about her and how powerful she was, and I believe she was the first disciple of Christ. Mother Diane, through the inquiry class. Through you, I've learned so much more about my Catholic faith. I feel now I can talk to people of other faith without sounding like a moron. I've learned quite a bit from you. I love when you go down the rabbit hole when we're discussing something and you come up with different issues. You're always given insightful information. So I relish that knowledge. Bishop Peter, when I first came here, when I first saw you preach, you not so much preach as you inspire. You not so much lecture as you teach. You preached with humanity, compassion, humility, and a sense of humor. Deacon Tony, you're ever the stabilizer in the church. You're a symbol of strength, insight, and compassion to me. Now, I know this is funny to say, I both consider you role models and father figures, even though I'm older than you both. But you've taught me how to be a better man religiously in my life.
Amen.
I also want to pay special attention to Fathers Arturo, Father Ben, Father Toding, and Father George. I've seen each of you interact with other parish members. You truly are shepherds of Christ. You're both pious and devout. The church choir, I don't know all of you by name, but I want to pay special recognition to Morella. Morella, your music is its own language. It's rich in faith, hope, and praising the Lord. I also want to pay special attention to Polly. Polly, you're a font of wisdom, stability, and reliability. Polly and I share two classes, the Bible study and the inquiry class. And I can always look to Polly with something intelligent to speak of. I also want to mention Sharon Smith, who's our artistic director and designer. I feel I got to know Sharon more last year at the inquiry mass outside, where she was sitting next to me. And she was looking at a flower arrangement, and she goes, "That flower arrangement looks off." And I was like, "Well, what's off with it?" So she got up and she went and she did a couple of tweaks, and she came back and sat down. My God, it actually looked better. This was in the tweaks. So right then I knew, oh my gosh, this is a woman of extreme artistic vision. I'm a failed artist, so whatever she says, I go with. I determined that the caliber of the clergy in this church was incredible. Throughout my life living in Orange County, I practiced my faith at St. Anne's, Holy Family Cathedral, and St. Martin de Porres. But just the ratio of people here, it's just incredible. It's outstanding. I was impressed at the humility of the church surroundings. This is not a cathedral. This church is more than just a building. The church is the people. I know we are looking for another facility that will look more like a church, but I'm glad I came in when I did, because I recognize the humble beginnings of this church. So never let us forget that. Even though we may go to a bigger building, we still have that humility, which is always so very important to me in my life. St. Matthew's is a living organism which provides spiritual, social, and psychological support. You do practice what you preach in this community. As Helen Keller once said, alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. As we grow older, we discover we have two hands, one to help ourselves, one to help others. I want to close with a quote from Coretta Scott King, the wife and widow of the great Martin Luther King Jr. She said, "The greatness of a community is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members." I want to give a special thanks in the end to my friend of over 50 years, Alberta Marie Ninachuk, who opened the door to me 2 times when I came back to St. Matthew's. Again, I first came in 2018 with my companion Ed. At that time, I was working up in LA as a manager in a call center, and my work schedule was Monday through Friday. So I thought since Mass was Sunday, that would work out. But within a week, my work changed my work schedule, so I had to work Sundays. So that ended that. In 2019, my longtime companion passed away. In 2020, Berghe reached out to me again, and Gary, I think it would be good if you come back to church. And here I am as where I'm going to stay. I want to thank you, St. Matthew, for welcoming this very imperfect senior Hispanic gay man to your community. I am a new parish council member. My goal and my vision and my stewardship is to try and bring more parishioners to this church. I think outside the box. I have a couple of ideas, especially to reach out to the LGBTQ community. I was Catholic long before I determined I was gay. I know there are a lot of older gay males who feel the same way, and they feel they're not accepted in the regular Roman Catholic Church, the imperialist Roman Catholic Church. So that's one of the ways I intend to reach out to the community. So again, I thank you for your time, and I will do my best for St. Matthew's.